Hey, good afternoon, fam. Good afternoon. Listen, today's topic, right? And as you guys see the title, right? Tell the truth and shame the devil. Tell the truth and shame the devil, right? The reason why I use that title today because a couple of people in a few of my videos messaged me about their concern about my topic, and it was two videos actually in particular with about three or four different messages. But both videos were about retirement, just information that I got from either the Census Bureau or AARP, right? And they were saying, "Oh, you're insensitive because some people went through a situation that made them lose, let's say their retirement income or whatever. Um, it could be divorces, it could be health, it could be whatever reason." And I 100% agree. I'm not talking about that small minority of people, right? My information, and if you're one of those people who went through a situation like that, a hardship like that, right? We understand life happened. My message was not for those people. My message was for the people who don't save, the people who continue to do the same thing day in and day out, right? But some way, somehow, expect to change. So, yes, with those people, we need to tell the truth and shame the devil. You need to tell the truth and shame the devil. Because, prime example, in 2008, the market crashed, and a lot of people lost thousands of dollars in their 401k. Some people lost 25 to 30% of their value. So if they had like $1 million value, right? They lost $300,000 in their 401k. I even heard of people who have lost like half of their 401k. I'm assuming they were aggressive investor. But on the average, people were losing anywhere between 25 to 35%, right? Cool. Now the market corrected itself a few years later, and everybody went right back to deposit money into their 401k. My question to you is this: knowing what we know now, knowing there are vehicles out there that allow you to safeguard your life savings. That's a key word. Your life savings. There are vehicles out there that allow you to safeguard your life savings. But yet you turn around and you go dump your money back into a 401k. At that point, whose fault is that? At that point. Because that's what's happening right now. People's value is going down again. Right? And you know what's funny? Typically, this type of stuff happens when you need the money the most, which is when you're about to retire. So you look at your statement, you have a $500,000, 600K, 700K. All of a sudden, you wake up one day, and your $500,000 is now down to 375. Your 700K is now down to 400,000. Right? Tell the truth and shame the devil. Right? Listen. Listen. We can't keep moving this way. We can't keep moving this way. Keep making excuses, right? For things that happen in our lives or decisions that we make. Okay? That's one. Two is this: your inability to be disciplined and to save money. Your inability to be disciplined and to save money. Right? That's nobody's fault but yours. Again, tell the truth and shame the devil. Your inability to be disciplined enough to save a decent amount of money. What do I mean by that? Some people, if they get paid weekly, only want $50 coming out of their paycheck towards their retirement. And you know, when I meet people like that, I typically will ask them, have you crunched the number on that? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, so you're 40 years old and you want to retire at 65, correct? He said, yes. And you're only saving $200 a month. How much do you expect to have in retirement? Oh, I never thought about that. Okay. How long do you expect the money to last you? Oh, I didn't think about that either. What kind of lifestyle would you like to have in retirement? Oh, I never thought about that either. Okay. Did you also factor in your health care costs? Your health insurance in retirement? Oh, I have insurance in my job. You plan on working forever? When you leave the job, how much do you think your insurance is going to be? These are key things that people do not factor when they're in retirement. But they do the minimal, so it leaves room for them to have spending money. They do the minimal, so it leaves room for them to be able to do their happy hours, right? For them to be able to hang out with their friends and family, for them to be able to travel, for them to be able to buy those fancy bags, shoes, clothes, jewelry, whatever. And they neglect their future. Okay? Actions that you're taking right now, your future you will either thank you or hate you for it. I want you to realize what I'm saying to you. The actions that you're taking right now, your future you is either going to thank you or hate you for it. It's on you at the end of the day. So when I say that tell the truth or shame the devil, this is what I mean. Okay? If you close your eyes for a second and imagine yourself being 65 years old, living on $25K a year. I want you to imagine that you right now in today's dollar can live on $25K. Right? How much you think how much you think, or how far do you think $25K is going to take you 20 years from now? I'm just a guy who just like to keep it real. I want people to think a little bit. Right? How you doing? I want people to think just a little bit. How far do you think 25K is going to take you a year as a senior citizen, as a 65-year-old, where most likely you will still have a mortgage or a roof over your head somewhere, so, you need somewhere to live. You're gonna still need healthcare costs. You're gonna still need groceries. You're gonna still need auto insurance. You might have a car note, because cars don't last forever, You may want to travel with the kids or the grandkids, all these things, right? Retiring costs money. And you can either A, keep working forever, or B, decide to do better. Period. No other way around it. You can either A, decide today that you're gonna work forever, which, by the way, you don't have any control over, right? What do I mean by that? You can say you want to work forever, but if your body tells you we're not getting up and going, then what you gonna do? As a matter of fact, I just had a client about a few weeks ago, force herself into retirement because I spoke with her 2 years ago when I did her policy. And she said, yeah, I'm probably work till I'm 67, 68. That was 2 years ago. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she texted me and called me. Oh yeah, so I was going through my benefit package for my retirement, and they was telling me that I can take my insurance with me at work, but it's gonna start to go up in premium. What do I do? I was like, hold up. Are you just getting information or what's going on? She said, no, I just thought I'm gonna retire right now. I'm like, wow, what happened? She's like, oh, my knees, my back. All of a sudden I woke up one day and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And this is what typically happens. See, right now you're 40 years old, 35 years old, and you saying to yourself, I'm going to work forever because you feel strong. You look strong, you look amazing. Right? You're in the gym, you feel healthy. And then over time, your body starts to get old. It's like a car. No matter how much maintenance you maintain that vehicle, the longer you have it, how you doing? The longer you have it, over time, it's gonna start to deteriorate. The body's gonna start to rust. The engine is gonna need a bunch of maintenance consistently now, more than before, because it's an old vehicle. The upkeep, most of the time, is not worth it, and people end up getting rid of it. Okay, because it's costing more to maintain it because it's such an older vehicle now, right, than when it was new. Okay, your body functions the same way too. When you're younger, you rarely go to the doctors. Okay, because nothing is hurting. You're good. As you get older, you're going twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year. You understand? Because you got to keep the maintenance up. So I try to tell people that, and don't get it twisted. This is not something I knew from day one. I had to learn this myself. I had to surround myself with people who understands this, and that's why I'm relaying this to you guys. Right? As a matter of fact, let me pause for a second. If you have watched so far, or you're stuck with me this long, I am a small content creator. I'm trying to build my channel up, and I see based on analytics that I'm actually getting a lot of views. Okay, and listen, if you guys actually truly see content in what I'm sharing with you guys, please subscribe to my channel. You know, the algorithm can push this information out to people, your parents, your aunties, your uncles, you know, neighbors, you know, who might need to hear this. Okay, the bigger my channel is, the more they're able to push my content out to people that might need to hear this. So please just subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you guys for that. So back to what I was saying. You got to get to a point where you become conscious and start to make a conscious effort to purposely put money away. I had to do it myself. I sat down one day, and even though I was already saving, and like most people, I was saving just enough so that way I have some spending money. Not even just pocket change, but spending money, because I had to go out on the weekend. I had to travel. I had to buy this nice thing, buy that nice thing, right? But I had to ask myself, are these things truly that important? Okay, how is my future self gonna view me? How am I gonna be able to take care of myself, in the future, if I don't make the decision now, right? Okay, am I gonna be a dependent on my children, which I don't want to happen? A lot of people end up putting this burden on their children, which is absolutely unfair. This is not something your children should take on, because if they're taking this on, there's no way, unless they're making great money, there's no way that they'll be able to save for themselves. And now it becomes a repeated cycle. Right? Especially in my culture. I'm West African, where for some reason your parents believe that you are supposed to take care of them. And in a way you are, if they are unable to, due to some form of an illness or something like that. But it's actually your parents' job to make sure that you're financially secure until they leave this planet. That's the way it's supposed to be. And then they transfer you wealth to carry on, to carry you and your children on. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be they pass away and they leave you nothing. But on top of them leaving you nothing, they also left you with debt. Because if they didn't save enough money, there's a high likelihood they're going to leave you with some form of debt. Right? So, listen, I'm going to close with this, right? How you doing? It's an African proverb. And my mom used to say this to me when I was younger. Didn't really understand it at first. And it goes like this. Do what you need to do when your hair is dark. Do what you need to do when your hair is dark. Which now I'm understanding means that you got to go out here and get it and plan your life and prepare yourself. Because as you get older, the energy you have, the strength you have is no longer there. Right? The strength you have is no longer there. Okay? Listen, I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Again, please, if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys. Love you. Talk to you soon.